Welcome back. It's still Daybreak Extra on Trust TV. Well, and we're still having a wonderful time right here in the studio, making sure that your weekend gets off to the best start. Right now in the studio, we have Sagir Ibrahim, who is up to some mischief, I think, all the time. There's something behind that sheepish smile or whenever you're on set. So nice to have you.
Thank you very much, and I think people should stop pretending as if you don't miss me. I know Dashi misses me.
I don't miss you.
Okay, so interestingly, let's just go straight into it. It's Fair Women season, so if you take 2 hours to fair women in a day, I think it's probably time you spend like 6, because within the week, just there's been a couple of happenings. First of all, we heard Precious collected someone's husband, and she went there with her 2 children, begging Precious to release her husband. And of course, there's the issue of Martha, which is very unfortunate. Like,
quite unfortunate. Really.
Then you ask yourself, what's really going on? It's looking like those who are single are even having more peaceful lives than those who are married.
I've actually been asking myself that question, recently quite a lot, but.
But no, Dasha, let's pose this question. Is it really Fair Women season? I mean, like, really?
I seriously
been
don't
officially
know.
declared
Okay,
right
so we're going to say, like, thinking about all the decades, that have come and gone, it's always been Fair Men season, and now it's Fair Women season.
So if you hear Femi, you run. If you hear Femu, you run. You run a little bit. Then when you now hear Femu la la,
It's actually quite unfortunate, the incident that happened with Martha and all that, But I don't really know the details as to how it started. But this is not the first time I'm hearing stories like this. It has happened before, it's happening now, and it will still happen in future.
So my question is, at what point does it get, or does someone's belief get to that, I don't know, you feel like you have to exchange in form of probably sexual intercourse in order to serve God?
Well, the problem, I think maybe the main thing actually stems from the person's level of desperation for whatever it is he's looking for, And once you see a promise of that, what you're looking for to be being delivered to you, exactly. And lots of people can go to lots of great lengths to actually get that which they want. So I think most people are actually being driven by desperation rather than fervor or submission to the Almighty, which they seek to get those favors from.
But then there's also this other question. Why did it get, or how did it get this bad? Because of course we knew that infidelity is something that has been existing since time immemorial, but then again it has not been this rife in Africa. So is it because of imperialism, or
would you say it hasn't been rife in Africa, or the fact that social media
exactly that was
actually,
my point.
Bringing everything out?
But then
that's
again,
the point I want to make. I mean, like, it's not like it hasn't been happening. It's just
it's been
hearing about it.
Yes, it's been happening.
Exactly.
But my argument is, it has been happening, but a lot of people, it was way under the covers then.
Yes,
because like whoever was doing it was aware that, look,
there was no social media.
Okay.
You understand? Because there was no social media. Definitely, I'm sure, if not for social media, we would not have had the Martha story. We'll probably hear it maybe after like 6, 7, or 8 months after it happened, maybe through word of mouth, or maybe somebody writes it in a gossip column, on the newspaper, and then you probably get that. But right now, you get things instantly. And they happen just like that. So I think it's not really about the frequency of it happening. I think it's the reportage that has changed because of social media.
Now, what makes hers even worse is the fact that, it tackles, or it points at different vices. First of all, there's the issue of infidelity, not just infidelity and being pregnant at that. Then there's also the issue of getting rich quick, because according to a social media user, he said it was a common ritual in Congo where a pregnant woman would use her unborn child to get favor and also riches. So you see, this doesn't point out to just infidelity.
Just infidelity, yes.
Because
I was actually going to say probably manipulation was involved or something, but I don't think so with what you have just said.
Exactly. Then we saw the talismans that were...
Exactly. When you look at the video, I mean, like, the place was like set up for like...
If you claim to be a man of God, why would you have, why would you mix that with tradition?
There's that question.
Do you understand?
For additional potency.
What is wrong with you?
No, somebody has to.
In case one doesn't work, the other one works.
The other one works.
If they work together.
You have to be prepared in situations like this. Somebody has to play the devil's advocate. So let me play.
I'm trying so hard not to laugh.
Let me play that. You understand?
Oh my goodness.
Just in case one doesn't work out, he has a fallback plan. You understand? So that he can actually go back to that. You know?
Right,
yeah. So
what is a fallback?
No, but if not, how do you explain it? How do you explain him being a man of God? You know, and then what we saw there on the floor. I mean, like,
and then it's the utter lack of respect for me. The utter disrespect for me. You know, you're doing it on your matrimonial bed. You had the effrontery to even bring this man into your home.
The thing is, we still don't know the backstory. We don't know how. You just said it yourself. You don't know what led up to that. I mean, like, there must have been a build-up to that, and most likely for whatever it is that they're looking for to work, it has to happen in a specific place.
Environment.
Exactly, and most likely that was the only place that could take place.
The venue.
What did the
venue? Exactly.
When you saw her, did she look remorseful at all? I don't think she was remorseful.
Okay, so information I got this morning, I don't know how true anyways. They said both Martha and the pastor committed suicide.
What?
Yes.
No, but that needs to be verified.
It has
of course, it's subject to verification,
exactly.
but that was what I heard.
Because there's nothing that you won't hear on social media.
And if that's the case, it only makes it even more pathetic. I mean, to what end?
It is quite.
Because if they actually committed suicide, then your case about it being a ritual for money, then that's out of the matter. It's possibly that.
Is it out of the matter? Because
fun.
I think there's this verse in the Bible that says, what does it profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul? And then the profit of sin, right, is the wages of sin.
The wages of sin is death.
Is death. And I think it's just one terrible story that elaborates that verse, unfortunately.
Well, if that is the case, I mean, like, we really don't know what the situation is, why they were actually doing what they were.
All of this is still subject to
verification. It's just subject to verification because we don't even know the backstory, why she did what she did, what happened, how it all happened, how the man came, and all that. But the bottom line is, whatever it is that happened, it did, and it's bad. You understand? And it officially declares open Fair Women's Season. That Dashan has just confirmed.
It's Fair Women's Season.
Well, aside Fair Women, whatever happened to Fair Men of God too? Because not all men of God are sincere. Do you understand? Okay. There are lots of them who actually disguise as, men of God, but in the real sense,
that's a good question. But then it begs the question, are these people hypnotized? Because I do not understand.
Because I remember I told you a story of a lady whose husband was in the US. She traveled to the US and was working menial jobs, managed to send money for her to build a house, and then even managed to, get a car for her, only for this lady to take the key and sow it as a seed, to her man of God. Like,
I think she was lucky because she had a good sister-in-law.
Yeah, exactly.
But the thing is, let's look at it from the other side of it as well. I mean, like, you guys.
I just like how Ibrahim likes to look at issues from the other side.
Yeah, you do. But there's always two sides to it. I mean, like, it is a seed. She sowed a seed, which takes time to germinate.
Was she responsible for buying that?
For some reason, I feel like Ibrahim wouldn't mind becoming a man of God.
Ibrahim, for it to even work, it needs to be your sweat. No. It wasn't her sweat.
But it was given, it was given to her.
It was given to her as a gift.
Exactly.
Someone else's sweat.
But he gave it to her. That means from the time that he gave it to her, it became hers. And she actually had the express rights to do what she wanted.
Not necessarily.
This now begs my question.
And she wanted to sow a seed.
Are these people under some sort of spell, or are they hypnotized? Because this is no offense to anybody who
involved.
Good.
And in other cases, I think, women have this sweet spot at the back of their brain. So once you say all the right things, do all the right things, and then you don't even need any jazz. So.
In as much as we want to blame the men of God for all of this, I mean, like, they have the supply. You understand? But if there's not a demand to satisfy, they won't be there.
So now we're talking economics.
Well, let's look at it from that perspective as well. Okay. You understand? All I'm trying to say is, it takes two. It's not only the men of God that are actually into this. I mean, like, he has to have an avenue to practice whatever it is he's practicing. Because if you're not, if nobody's buying what you're selling, then you're out of the market automatically. So I think it actually takes two. Yes, the men of God are not doing what is required, but still, we as people as well are not doing what is required. Where we have not misplaced priorities now, misplaced faith. I think that is I think.
So we are believing too much in the men of God than actual God Himself.
Exactly.
When you're supposed to have a close and personal relationship with God.
Because you allowed your man of God to become an intermediary.
That you cannot do.
You can't do yourself.
One very important question.
Every religion that you practice actually shows you how you can be able to commune with God.
Gives you an opportunity
to do that.
Yes.
So why are we not using it? And at the end of the day,
with shortcuts.
And at the end of the day, we are the most how do I say it, verbally religious people that you can actually find.
On the face of the earth.
Exactly. We are the most, Africans generally, you understand, we are the most verbally religious people that you can find. 1, 2, 3 sentences, somebody will quote God for you. But unfortunately, we are the ones found in the forefront of all of these things, trying to get rich quick, trying to
do all sorts of funny stuff.
Take shortcuts in life. And even in prayer. Even in praying to God, I want you to give me this, God. You have to take a shortcut because you want to follow somebody else. You have to go and give a man of God something so that he can do that for you. You understand? So I think that is where our problems actually lie, and it's quite unfortunate, really.
Okay, so Ibrahim, I have another story. I'm using this opportunity to fear Dasha. So there's this story I read online about a man who cried out, and his story is quite funny because this time it's not really fear women, but fear mother-in-laws.
Okay.
So he said, ever since his mother-in-law came, into his household, everything has just been going well. The house has been smelling so nice. She cleans, she cooks properly, and in fact, he even made reference to the fact that his wife's who cooks rice and yam. His wife's rice and yam had already grown on his head, and he was used to it, and he just loved how his mother-in-law takes care of him, takes care of the baby, runs a hot water. Calm down.
I'm not asking. I don't even know the story.
They're coming down.
But I know that's where you're headed. It's possible.
I wasn't headed there.
Okay,
Hold
let's
on.
go.
I'm playing a small language. We are just doing it. Anyways, back to the story. So his dilemma now is, the wife is jealous because he obviously appreciates his mother-in-law more. And he's not in love with her, by the way. He just wants her to stay longer because she takes care of the house better than his wife. And he feels, because his mother-in-law being in the house had shown him that his wife is actually not as tidy as he thought that she is. And the wife, on the other hand, has been crying and saying her mother must go back home. She has overstayed her welcome.
So that the status quo can revert to where it was.
Exactly. And boss is like, this woman is not going anywhere.
No, but what's the mom actually doing in the house?
She came for Omugo. So her daughter had given birth to a grandchild, and she came to help out. And then, fortunately for him and unfortunately for her,
for the lady,
the husband.
No, but what do you expect? You say she came for Omugo. Yes. This lady was heavily pregnant, obviously, when the mom came in and she gave birth. Does he expect?
Was she married pregnant? Was she married pregnant?
That's exactly. That was why I was narrating the story too, because I know it is only you that will understand the position of women.
Hold on, let me
from her own perspective.
No, but no two people are the same.
True.
You chose her because you loved her, so you accept whatever comes with it.
Yes, which includes her mother.
Exactly.
Yes,
so
but then her mother has to go back at some point.
At some point, but not right now.
So you have to revert to status quo. Yeah, not right now, but is it possible that the pregnancy was actually dealing with her in that time, from the first to the third trimester, till she gave birth?
What happened before she got pregnant?
For how long have they been married?
I don't know.
Did she get
Do you understand? It's possible. If that happened, then there's a case for her.
If that doesn't happen,
if that happened,
if it didn't happen,
and if the question is, if they got married like a month after and she took in, it's also a case for her.
Anyways, the question is the husband right to insist that mother-in-law stays just a little bit.
Absolutely.
He's wrong.
Absolutely.
He's wrong.
Absolutely.
What are you saying?
Absolutely.
See, look, we don't at this point we are fearing you, so we don't really mind or care what you say. What we know is the mother-in-law should stay as long.
He has seen the gold standard now.
A scented house.
That is the thing. He has seen the gold standard. I mean, like,
come on.
He never knew where he was missing.
Exactly. until the mother-in-law opened his eyes.
Exactly.
Is the wife supposed to be crying, or she should try
Okay,
to
so
feel
now
her
you're
shoes?
exactly. So the wife should actually try to fill her shoes, but aside that, the husband shouldn't even make it that obvious. He shouldn't make it obvious and make the wife feel, little of herself.
I don't think he was trying to do so. But you see, the problem with women is they tend to, what's the word now? To observe their men, especially when they become more appreciative of other people's efforts. I think that's where the problem is.
So if the mom decides to go now, what happens? Will he follow the mom to her house?
And she's not gone yet, and that's why he's saying
still there now.
Because she will still go. So he has to.
It's not a question of when
he has to get used to the facts.
He's aware that the mom will leave at some point,
So
but he's saying not right now.
Not now. Exactly. He wants to enjoy the gold
So is he wrong?
But aside that.
And he's not even laying down an ultimatum. I mean, like, a lot of men would have said, okay, fine, look, this is the gold standard now.
Yes.
And this is how you're going to be doing it.
See, forget about what. Do you know what you guys are not actually thinking of?
He's not saying
what you guys are not thinking of is the fact that it's possible that this girl actually goes to work. She has a very hectic, stressful work and comes back really, really late. And she still has to cater for her husband and also the home. So how do you expect her?
She doesn't have a job.
So that argument
is okay.
So that argument is moot now.
Look at the way she just fear women.
So that argument is moot now.
She's living a baby girl life.
No, but the truth of the matter is, you really can't blame the guy.
But does she have a business?
But you can't
Why are you asking? What is your own now?
You can't
she wants to blame
the guy for wanting to be taken care of. I mean, like, he has seen the gold standard, and that is what he wants. Besides, he's not saying be like your mom. What he's saying is let your mom stay here a little bit more so that she can take care of me.
After supper, warm water mixed with lemon and honey before bed. Really, I will miss me.
Please, let's move on. I will miss that.
Me.
But can't you go into the kitchen and whip it up yourself?
When someone will do it for me, of course I will allow the person to do it for me. Of course. What are you saying?
If somebody else can do it for you.
You are the problem.
Hold on. So it's okay for a lady to live a baby girl lifestyle. But when we have the opportunity to live
baby boy lifestyle.
Interestingly, Ibrahim, hold on. Yesterday was International Men's Day.
Yeah, exactly.
Not a single word.
Exactly. Nobody heard anything about it. Nobody said anything about it.
I prayed for you. Even prayer would be better.
All the women decided to not even acknowledge it.
I'm telling you. And when it's there, look, we don't celebrate International Men's Day.
But you guys, why not celebrate yourselves? Even if you're not celebrated, you celebrate yourself.
It's a 14 days continuous activism.
We are expected to celebrate women.
Celebrate.
When it comes to International Women's Day. And then now you say gender discrimination. It's not women discrimination. This is gender discrimination.
I'm telling you.
Against them.
And even allowing our mother-in-law to stay just a little longer is a problem.
Now you guys are beefing us.
Maybe she has a job. She goes to work in the morning and come back. She doesn't have a job.
Do you know? It's possible that the mom grew in, or she got married in. She got married when women didn't have to. Go work 9 to 5.
When was that?
She's always
during
her time. During her time.
That's in the 1870s. That means she's like 200 years old now.
The husband took care of in Nigeria, in Africa. Don't forget that it's just recently there are a lot of women actually coming out to say they want to work.
When was
she lived with her husband, and she was doing everything. Morning she wakes up. Her job was to cater for her husband and the family while the husband goes out and gets funds to take care of the house.
What this man is asking for is just a few more weeks.
So what is the argument now? We've already established that a woman doesn't work. So what's the argument now?
Over a few more weeks.
No, but I asked him if she has a business. If she has a business where it takes, because whether you like it or not, having a business is more.
She doesn't have a job.
She doesn't work. She doesn't have a business.
She's living the baby girl lifestyle.
Exactly.
I mean, the mother-in-law is even helping her.
And there's no excuse. If she doesn't,
the mother-in-law does the cleaning.
There's no excuse except if she has a job, but she probably took
now let me ask you this.
Maternity leave.
If, for example, maybe at some point you had a child and your mom came to the house and your husband was like, Mom, don't go, maybe stay an extra 2 weeks. So you're going to be crying and say...
No, why would I cry? I would want her to stay
exactly,
some
it's
more.
your mom.
But he compared
what's
her
now
to the mom.
Contention?
There was a comparison.
It's your mom. This person gave... No, there's no comparison.
There was a comparison
there's
in
no
her
comparison.
presence.
There's no comparison.
I'm sure he said it in her presence, saying you should be more like your mom. You're not. You don't do that.
And what's so bad about that?
You don't do that.
Be like your mom.
So you should go outside and complain.
Wait, who is supposed to be your hero?
So you should go out and complain.
Is it someone else's mom?
You don't make. It depends on how he said it. Did he do it in a degrading manner?
Ladies again with creating scenarios in their head.
Exactly.
We didn't even say that.
This is simple. This woman came, give this guy the gold standard. He wants it to continue for a few weeks. You have already...
And then he goes back to what? Silver or bronze?
Different kinds of scenarios, different kinds in the copper. Really?
I'm telling you.
Or rock. Honestly,
it's just so unfair.
Please let's move on. Can we move on to another story?
This person is your mom.
It's first women's season.
Yes.
This is my submission. I don't think that she should have a problem with her mother staying in the house.
No, there shouldn't be a problem. And I believe as a woman, you should be able to take care of your husband, no matter what. Like that gold standard, she should have given that to her husband. If she had, then he wouldn't have even noticed the difference when the mom came around. I'm a strong believer in taking care of your men. Okay,
so a final one before we end this topic. So is it that, number one, chivalry is going out of... what's the word now?
Chivalry is going out of fashion? Or chivalry is dead?
Dead. Is it dead or dying?
Chivalry is dead.
No, chivalry.
That's the first question. The second question now is it no longer a good thing for a woman to be homely and hospitable and be a housewife?
It is.
Why would you say it is? No. You have they're going to come for you.
I know.
Like, they're going to come.
I fear them, but I should ask the question.
They're going to come for you.
Why do you ask? Let's find out. Why did you ask?
I'm asking because it's very obvious for a man to see, for example, a woman who does all of the things that he would expect his wife to do and naturally would appreciate all of those things that she's doing.
Exactly.
So don't you think that in that scenario, the wife should be thinking of how to at least do up to what this other person is doing rather than complain or gloat? I'm going back to the same issue.
Exactly. So that's the thing. Right now, but let me answer your question. One of the questions. All right, both of them actually. Number one, chivalry is not dead. You understand? We have lots and lots of chivalrous men out there that actually.
But you're not one of them.
I'm not. I just said we have lots of them out there. I know from experience.
Okay, not in here anyway, but out there. Okay.
We do have them. And number two, really, being homely. As a woman now, being homely and being a housewife and what that is out of fashion right now, really, because the movement is quite different now. You saw how Dashen was up in arms when that was brought up.
Don't be looking at him like that. I can see you.
The wife works. She goes to the jewel.
You don't know whether she was tired.
What did I say in the end? I said in the end, it's not an excuse for you not to take care of your husband.
So really, that is not fashionable right now. It at all.
Do you know what? I'm having such a good time because I think this is the first time in a really long time that the both of us and just her in the studio. It's normally Rosemary herself and me. Or Rosemary
it's so sad that we actually have to leave right now. There's no time.
You're happy. You're happy. Don't tell us you're happy. You just want to put an end to this conversation and leave it as soon as possible.
But there are lots of homely girls out there. It depends on where you want to look. These days, a lot of men prefer slay queens. That's the problem. They choose wrongly. And that's why we have a lot of divorce rates.
If you're going to say that, then it's not applicable to just men alone, but also women. Because, I mean, who make more terrible choices when it comes to choosing a partner? Is it the men or the women?
All right, so sadly, we have to
Not
leave.
sadly,
Thank you so much, Sagir, for the entertainment.
Always a pleasure.
And it was I had an awesome time with you as well, Ibrahim.
You always have an awesome time with me.
Mind yourself.
You
just
always
keep quiet.
have
Please admit that you miss me. See, that's what I want to hear.
All right, guys. It was it was fun, be with you. Thank you so much for tuning in and staying to the end. We'll be back again next week, Saturday on Daybreak Extra. I'm Dashen, Hussaina Usman. Have yourself a fantastic weekend.
It's absolutely been a brilliant time on Daybreak Extra today. It's been nice having Sagir back. Yes, he has been missed. Exactly. Let's just put it out there. It's been nice having him back, and of course, all the other things that went on the show today. Let's do it all again next week. I am Ibrahim Yusuf.